370, 370, well, 350 gone surely better than that. I'm afraid over 57, I'm afraid over 50, I'm afraid over 57, I'm afraid 50 metres. I'm at 50 now, I'm afraid 57, I'm afraid over 57.
Oh, mate, don't say that.
Welcome to the Meat Game Podcast, where the bulls run wild and the stories last. Country boys, butchers, and cowboys too, running hard on the truth like we always do.
Welcome to another episode of the Meat Game Podcast with Brando Fieldy and Hamish. Now, guys, we've got a very, very special one. I know that I say that all the time, but we are here at North Sydney. We're on location at MLA headquarters. And secondly, I was talking to you about it this morning, Mark. Every now and then, one of my favourite podcasts I do, and every now and then we strike one, is when we do one with another podcast.
Yes.
So we've got a podcast on another podcast today, and that would be Butcher's Gould. You would have all heard of that one before, and we've followed it for a long time also. Yep. I'd like to welcome to the show Doug Piper. Actually, you're welcoming me. I'm in your office.
Welcome, Brando. Welcome, mate. Hello, mate. Thanks for coming in today, boys. How good is it here, though?
Yeah, we had a purpose-built podcast office, but we're doing it on the Australian Brisket Board, the MLA's Australian Brisket Board, and it's on the tray.
It is.
And it is absolutely outstanding. So I think it weighs 150 kilos, just the board alone, from memory. Yeah.
It's got some mad wheels on it. We pushed it out from underneath the stairs and brought it into their boardroom.
Yep.
And it fits. It looks perfect. It's unreal. And
absolutely magnificent.
It is beautiful.
The camera would be picking up some of that, guys, but I'll take some photos. I'll put them online also. So it's absolutely magnificent bit of kit. So the Australian Brisket Board, guys, you've heard about us talk about them before. Jump on.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty much do anything.
Brandon,
big or small.
This one's going to be pretty cool. Like we've been talking about this one for probably about 125 episodes.
Yep.
And we thought, we've got to do this one when we are up to it.
Yep.
And we're good enough.
Yep.
Mate, we're good enough now.
Absolutely.
Good enough to talk to this fella. Like he's one of the pioneers.
Well, he was. We went from listening to Doug to doing our own, and now we're sitting across from Doug. So it's awesome. Yeah, absolutely,
it is
awesome. So.
Now you made me nervous.
No. I said about Brian Harris before and why I wanted to do podcasting, and also you done a podcast with Billy Gibney, and I listened to that, and we had never listened to podcasts. We weren't doing it, and then young blokes at work said, "You got to listen to Alpha Blokes," and we're not listening.
I didn't know what a podcast was, Doug.
Yeah, and all of a sudden we go, okay, no, these are pretty cool, and then I found yours, and I've gone, all right. Anyway, Billy Gibney, you were talking to him, and everything he was talking about told me that I was right in everything I believed. I'd always second-guessed myself working in shops and stuff like that, and I thought, I'm not good enough. And then everything he said, I'm like, hang on, I've said that. And I've gone, I am good enough. And I'm thinking, well, if they'll listen to him talk about it, maybe they'll listen to us talk about it. And he's got the other end and I've got one. Like we've both got both ends and we meet in the middle. And I thought, hang on, this might actually work. Yeah. And it took me 6 months to talk him into it, but now...
I just thought, you've heard me say it before, I just thought, every man, his dog's doing a podcast, they're smarter, they're funnier, they're whatever.
Better looking.
Whatever John you're going for, there's going to be someone out there, everyone's doing them. But then the stories in the industry, I thought there's plenty of them there, and, I shared a few around and people liked it. I thought, well, there's heaps of stories like that out there. Maybe there is a place, And then you get a lot of the old boys are starting to pass and you think their story goes with them.
Yeah,
so,
we're missing opportunities, aren't we?
Yeah, we just want to. And the other thing too is shed light on all different parts of the industry for the young people. Yeah. So it's about bringing the young ones through as well.
Well, I said to Doug, we just went down to the lift to get one of the other cameras, and I said to Doug, did you think you were doing this 20 years ago?
No.
He goes, no.
No, absolutely not.
Never.
No.
No, it's amazing the career path that you can take. It just takes you to get out and just do it. Just get out from behind the block or behind the counter and do what you want to do because, there's such a big world out there. The meat industry is a big beast.
Massive,
of a thing. And, you can be anywhere. Like 25 years ago, if you'd have said, you're going to be working for MLA, well,
you definitely would have been thinking, no way, not a chance. But you can do anything, and this guy's proof of it.
Yeah.
Well, I remember it would have been back in 2007. I had just got back into food service. A mate of mine was working in a little small food service company up on the Central Coast, and he said, "Oh, you got to come and work for these guys. They're really good blokes." Blah blah blah. So yeah, righto. And I was selling sausage casings at the time for Belrose Casings.
Yep.
So I'd handed him a notice in, started with this guy, and it was just a shock. You know, I thought, it didn't work out the way that I thought it was. You know, it wasn't that good. So I got home on the Friday night, and I said to the missus, I said, geez, it'd be good to work for one of the industry bodies like MLA or AMIC or APL, you know, and the next day I went out and got the newspaper, the Sydney Morning Herald, you know, those things that you open up and you actually read.
They don't have them anymore, do they?
No, I don't know.
I think they're on an iPad.
Yeah. And there was a job there for a, I can't remember what the actual role was, but an MLA, a retail executive, that was what it was. And I read through the thing, I've got none of that. But I put my hand up, you know, and it was purely because I was persistent, and I had a bit of knowledge about the butchers around, especially in New South Wales, between North Sydney and Ballina, because that was my area where I was selling sausage casings. And I knew just about every butcher up the coast and quite a fair few in between. And I think that's what got me across the line, because of my knowledge there. Plus, also they were looking for a butcher with some skills. And that's how it started, just purely by just getting out of my comfort zone and putting my hand up for the job.
Yeah. But before that, like you talk about your skills and that, you were in your own shop too, weren't you? So you're from down here originally, down in Sydney?
Yep.
Yeah, so North Shore?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I actually started in Adelaide.
Oh, did you?
True.
Yeah, I'm a South Australian boy.
Oh, really?
Won't hold that too far against you.
Thanks, mate. I was waiting for that.
You look for league. You look at league now, don't you? You watch league.
What?
Oh, no.
Once
You're not AFL.
Yeah.
No,
Are
what,
you?
you're
No,
born
you're
on. No, you are born in one side of the river or the other. It's, no, seriously. If any of the ones that have grown up with AFL, you can put them in NRL territory. They never.
True.
And vice versa. I went down to. I went across enemy lines, and I was always NRL, and you just cop the shit that gets put
And
on
you
you.
cop it if you're over that side of the line.
Oh, you do. You cop it big
cop
time.
it big time. More so than what you would here.
Well, I started at Hardweeks, and it was in a board meeting, and they said, "Oh, blah blah blah. What footy team do you go through?" I said Parramatta, and they all started laughing. And I thought that's a normal response when you say Parramatta. I didn't. They said, "No, what football team do you go for?" I said Parramatta. They said, "Well, what football team?" Because they call it NRL. They call theirs football. So
Yeah.
So I said I don't have one. So
Yeah, right. So
I found that hilarious.
Adelaide, yeah.
you still follow AFL?
Yeah, well, we also lived in Melbourne when I was a lot younger, but ended up back in Adelaide again. But yeah, I'm a Collingwood supporter, and I've got my own teeth.
Yep.
They're Magpies.
Yep.
They cop it a lot down there. Yeah.
Mate, they have got the biggest supporter base.
They
out
do.
of all the sports.
They do. They've got the biggest supporter base, but they cop it. Yeah, you haven't got a full set of teeth if you go for Collingwood and all this. Yeah.
All the bogans.
Oh, look, yeah.
Mate,
But they've got the biggest following, so.
Yeah.
But the beauty about football, AFL, is that it's such an infectious game. You're like going to work on a Monday morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right through till Thursday, Friday.
Yep.
Everyone's talking footy.
Yep.
Yeah, but
They just talk.
But you look at the crowds they get to games. They get to a normal club game what we get to a grand final. You know, like, that's one thing I will give them. They get
Brendan, they make the grand final a public holiday.
public holiday. Yeah.
Well, they have Friday off too.
It's nuts down there. Yeah, no,
Just
it's
close it
absolutely
down.
nuts.
Yeah.
But they just get behind it. Like I said, every game they got 80,000.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got some good tangents, Doug. We can take a good tangent.
We're on there.
So what, Adelaide?
Yeah, Adelaide.
Up to here?
Yeah, Adelaide up to here. So I started in Central Markets in Adelaide. I worked for a guy, Howard James. He had a couple of shops there. My first experience with a knife was cutting up kangaroos in his pet shop.
True.
Yeah, he used to go and shoot roos on the weekend, and then they'd all get processed, and then they'd end up in the pet shop on a Monday afternoon. And that was my job, was to go there and get a bit of knife skills, cutting up the kangas. So, but then,
cool.
Yeah. And then we were in Sydney for probably, I reckon it was probably about 2 days, and I got a job at Forestville for Charlie Hitchings. He had a butcher shop up there.
You know Charlie.
I know Charlie Hitchens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is he still around?
Nah, he passed on. Maybe 5 years ago or so.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
His son's pretty busy.
I was in Victoria when it happened. Otherwise, I definitely would have went to the funeral. Because I went down to Victoria and I didn't hear anything about it. And I came back up, And Charlie passed, and Frank Bird had passed. That's another one I
yeah.
would have went to his funeral as well. So.
Yeah.
See, there's another example
Yeah.
of why we do what we do. Like Frank Bird, he's it'd go for 5 hours, and it'd be all factual. But what a character that I would just love to sit down and do a podcast. Dwayne Ledbetter from Ozmeat,
Yes.
another one.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah.
he be absolutely the best podcast? But and that's the reason why we do what we do, and we try and do it in a casual, just to
Have a bit of a
have a
laugh.
bit of a laugh and just to chat.
Yeah.
Whereas Butcher School, yours is more like an educational thing, which is awesome, and that's we've sort of had that point of difference we thought
Yeah.
to you. But that ours is more of a casual. We discuss different parts in the industry, and the young people will listen to it and pick up on the different parts of it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's unfortunate. That would have been real good. That.
Charlie, yeah, no,
What's his
Nathan's-
son doing?
no, he's still about.
Yeah, he's running trucks, isn't he?
Yeah, doing a bit of still running trucks and that. Yeah, Craig.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right. That was a pretty good shop there. I think there was about 4 butcher shops in that one little shopping centre there in Forestville. And Friday afternoon, the meat truck would roll up with what was left on Charlie's rail.
Yeah.
And sometimes that truck was chockers.
Oh, really?
And this is on a Friday afternoon, busiest day in the week
Yeah.
back then, because we didn't have Sunday trading. So Friday, Saturday were the busiest days. And the meat carter we'd had a room probably as long as this boardroom here, and we had a rail in there, and you couldn't shut the back door
Yep.
Yeah,
if you'd had a
right.
bad week. And we had 2 fridges, and one wasn't that big,
Yeah, right.
about the size of that podcast room around there.
Yeah.
And we used to have to squeeze all this beef in there. At the end of the day, when we got it all in the room, we'd have to put a block against the door to shut it because it was just so full. It was, it was just bulging out the sides.
Well, that's like when I was at Melrona. I've said to you before, Friday's boning. I'd only half fill the, during the week, you'd only half fill Friday because you'd get every man, anyone they couldn't sell during the week. Can you handle this? Can you handle that? So, and obviously you buy it at the right rate,
Yeah.
But same sort of thing, yeah.
So he would have been at the abattoirs or had a rail at Homebush or something like
that's
that.
it, yep.
And then whatever he hadn't sold for the week would come to the shop, and then you'd
what?
push it out through the shop.
Yeah,
That's
we just
good.
push it out through there, yeah. And there was everything there. There was big calves, there was pigs, there was, beef, lamb, whatever.
So you definitely learnt some.
Oh yeah. Learnt some. I was only there for probably about a year and a half, I think, before things got a little bit quiet, and then they moved me on. But it was a good learning curve because in Adelaide I never made sausages.
Yeah, right.
And the first job I had was to make sausages in that shop, and they were amazed. Like I was 7-8 months into an apprenticeship, and I'd never made a sausage in my life because we had a factory back there in Adelaide. They gave me the sausage filler, gave me some tub of meat, and said make some snags. And I learned the other apprentice there, Gary Bitmead, who used to work for Joe's.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
he showed me the ropes, but it took me all afternoon to do a batch of thick ones, not thin.
Really?
Yeah, it took me all afternoon.
Yeah.
I eventually got quicker.
Yeah. No, you do. Practice makes perfect.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a good shop to learn a lot in because in Adelaide, all I was doing was a little bit of trimming. Wasn't allowed to serve the customers except for one lady that came in once.
Took a shine to you?
No, she had a see-through top in. My job was to fill up the offal.
Yep.
Back then.
Yep.
Like on the busy days was to fill up the offal, and we had everything.
Yep.
All the offal you could think of, and that was my job throughout the day, just to replenish that as well as the window trays. But Sydney was a different beast. I sort of worked in a few shops before I ended up up at Colorado Plateau.
Yep.
Got a job with a fella there, a butcher shop there. I was there for about 4 years before we bought it, and a great shop.
Yep.
Fantastic little butcher shop. There was probably in those days about 7 butcher shops up there.
Yep.
Wow.
In that area.
Yeah.
That shop was just a little independent
Now there's one.
butcher shop. Yeah, now there's just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Shane's, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
It was Jamie, and then I think Jamie's gone down to Warriewood.
Yeah, that's right, Jamie
Yeah.
Cook. Yeah, he's down there. But Jamie was there for quite a few years.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
I love that
Lovely
fella.
guy.
Good guy.
Lovely guy.
Yeah. Back to Gary Bitmead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to work. He was my boss at Joe's.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, he was a general manager, and I was one of the supervisors. And then I ended up taking Cole Cameron's job.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was a meat buyer. But best thing that Gary ever done for me was never said no. He said go for it. If I wanted to change something, we'd never done a stock take. they'd just done P&L right for the end of the week, never done a stock take.
Yep.
And I said, Gary, we're running out of meat. Every single Sunday, you've got shops and 2 ICs that aren't getting results because we're running out of meat. We're telling them to run out of meat because you want to make money each
Clear
week.
at the end of the week.
I said, why don't we do it over a month? Do a stock take and then go lose money, break even, and then cash in at the end of the month. And then that's when you know how you're going. And we were doing stock takes. We ended up changing that whole business. But the best thing he ever done was never said no. He always said, yep, let's have a crack at it.
Yeah.
Open to new ideas, yeah.
What a good fella.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he had a good shop up there at Forestville too. He ended up in the shop there for quite a while.
Yeah.
You know, helped me out a lot over the years.
Yeah.
But really, really nice bloke.
Yeah. He ended up getting out for a while and exporting and importing footwear, shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Weird.
Yeah, he ended up becoming a shoe salesman. And
Really?
yeah, but the way he got out of that and back into Joe's was John Hunt was talking to him somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know where. And then all of a sudden he goes, oh, why don't you come and work for me? And all of a sudden he's general manager of 42 butcher shops doing
Yeah.
$2 million a week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Amazing. See where you can end up.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And done a great job.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is about Doug Piper, not
That's
about
all right.
Gary
No,
Bitmead.
it's all good.
So butcher shops into Belrose casings.
Yeah,
And then-
actually, no. I was before Belrose. Once I got out of my butcher shops, it was I ended up going down the dark side and joining the supermarkets.
Oh, yeah.
So I started. We'd moved up the coast. I was looking for some work, and there was a casual job going with Bilo Supermarkets at the time. So I worked with this great guy, Doug Mulray, lookalike and personality-like guy, butcher called Terry Day at Killarney Vale. Really, really funny bugger. You know, we had steak and kidney on special one day, and this guy loved cold chisel. So do I, actually. I think it might have rubbed off on me. But he's come bursting through the doors out the back, and he goes, "The last tray of steak and kidney's just been sold." So, you know, this is the sort of guy he was. He'd just come out with all this random stuff. But there was only 2 of us in the shop. We weren't doing a huge turnover. I think maybe 15, 20 grand a week or something. We had a packer there as well.
Yep.
And every afternoon, he'd come up to me and say, "Dougie," this is about 3:45. We're due to knock off at 4 o'clock. He'd go, "Dougie, there's 6 hinds in there and 10 lambs. How long to break them?" And I go, "Give me half an hour." And he'd go, "Right." He said, "Well, I'll start cleaning and you do that." So we'd throw the lambs through so he could do the saw. Then I'd do the hinds, and then hang it all the way, and then we're out of there by about 4:15.
Yep.
Every freaking day he used to do it to me.
Got you for 15 minutes every day.
He wouldn't let me get to it earlier. He wouldn't let me get to it any earlier. But, you know, he was a really good bloke. And that was my first start into supermarkets.
Yeah.
I always remember the first day he said, we need some blade steak, your favourite.
Yep.
Need some blade steak cut. So, right, so I've gone in there, grabbed the bowler off the wall, sliced it up.
Yep.
There you go. He goes, "No, I need a carton." I've gone, "You sure you need a carton?" Because
Yeah.
I've come from a little butcher shop into a supermarket, you know. So grab a carton and slice it up. So I've gone in there and sliced it up. And next thing, we need another carton of those. So yeah, we ended up. You sort of, it's hard. It was hard to fathom the volume that we were going to go through, and obviously him having that experience. You know, for me, it was just something foreign. Like, you don't cut that much meat.
No.
You know, one at a time.
I get
guys.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So I was at Baddo Bay. Great butcher shop, pump out truckloads of meat. But you'd only cut a tray and then you'd cut it maybe a backup tray.
Yeah,
and that was
wait,
it.
wait till that goes and replace it. Yeah.
No, and then I went we opened Joe's Hornsby. Oh, no, not Joe's Hornsby, Woolworths Hornsby. All of a sudden, we were just cutting pallets of rumps. I didn't know where I was. I was a pretty good apprentice. I was a pretty good second year, and I thought I was the duck's nuts. I went there and I was cutting these rumps. I'm thinking, what am I doing? What have I done?
Yeah.
They just cut a power of meat, don't they, them supermarkets?
Oh yeah. After Bilo, I ended up with Franklin's Big Fresh.
Oh, yep.
So that was a big, massive beast. Those things were huge. Those Big Freshes. I started out as a butcher up at Tuggerah when they first opened that one up, and
Clayton Glasgow would have been with you. Started as an apprentice.
Oh, funny story about him.
Yep.
I'll
I went to school with Clayton.
He's a top bloke.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now before I forget, because I am getting old. We ran MLA ran the Greatest Butcher on Your Block program a few years back, where we asked butchers to get in contact with us if you wanted to be involved, and it involved Jessica Rowe, and it was about promoting butchers out there in the field. Anyway, we got this application back from a guy called Clayton down in Tassie. So they'd ask certain questions, and they said a mentor, and a mentor, and it said Doug Piper, and I've gone, must be another Doug Piper around here. I've never been to bloody Tasmania. Yeah. So anyway, we ended up getting him through. We had a couple of butchers from down there apply, and he ended up to be one of them at Dodgers Ferry. And so get down there, have a couple of phone calls, but I'd never clicked. It was Clayton. Yeah. Anyway, so we get down there, and I've walked in the shop, and there he is standing there, mate. And I thought, now it all makes sense. There isn't another Doug Piper, but really, really quite humbling to think that I was part of the reason why he'd stayed in the trade and gone on, because he was a great apprentice at Franklin's. Yeah, he was. When he first started, he was just a clean-up boy. Yep. And he decided just to continue on with the trade, which was quite good actually. But but
he ended up at Paddington Fresh with Billy Wilson.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was at Paddington Fresh for a while.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And then must have gone down.
Yeah. No.
Good butcher.
Yeah. Oh, mate, he put on, and he said he didn't. It was his normal window, but I've never seen anybody do some value adding and having displayed the way that he had it. It was very, very smart. Yeah. And some great products.
Yeah.
Really
so
good stuff.
When Morgs would have been at Broadway, Clayton would have been at Billy Wilson's Paddington shop.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. That explains.
That'll explain the value add, and very, very
definitely,
good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But getting back to the Franklin's days, like you mentioned about dropping pallets of rump. Yeah. That's all we did. I started out as a butcher, like I said, so I learnt a lot about these things. And these, for the people out there that don't know what a Big Fresh is, a Big Fresh, we used to have a counter service, and we'd have a 4-tier, so your pre-pack. Yeah. Your pre-pack was normally about 18 base, so 18 by about, 4 foot, I suppose, by about 4 shelves. Yep. And then you've got the same length.
That's a lot of meat.
That's a lot of meat. And then you've got about an 18 to 20 metre long window to fill up as well every day. Yeah. And so you needed an army of butchers. We had quite a few butchers. We probably had about 7 or 8 butchers each shift. Shift was just a day shift. The night shift was generally run by 1 or 2 butchers and the clean-up boys. Yep. We were to cut meat, mate. We used to cut it, and it was such an eye-opener running those things, Yeah.
So, what did you think of all the animals when all the kids come across and press the buttons in?
Mate,
you hear all these farm animals?
Very annoying, those kids.
Yeah, I don't know how you put up with that.
Oh, mate,
they'd walk past, they'd press a button, and it's on a retractable button and make a noise like the cow noise, like they're in the farmyard.
Yeah. And the chickens down in the egg part, and then there was they cost a lot of money to set up those businesses. But they certainly got the customers in.
Yeah.
They got the customers in. But that was like I said, that was a great experience. Went on to be a senior meat team leader with those guys after a couple of years, and I ended up running Leichhardt, Burwood, went down to Campbelltown for a little while, and then back up to Tuggerah there before I started with KR Darling Downs, so the real dark side with the pork people. That's a 4-letter word in this building. But learned a lot there as well. But worked a lot with Franklin's, and we put together the knife ready pork program there, where we sort of basically all I did was sort of say, hey, why don't we make pork? Gosh, I've got to stop saying that. Why don't we make it like we did beef, like they have beef? Yep. Primal. Put it into primal. So we did that, and it made it a lot easier for the butchers in the supermarkets to use that, because you give them the instructions.
Yep.
Like the top sides were for stir fry and dice. The knuckles too. The silver side as well. The rump, you do a rump steak with it, like a pork rump. You use this end of the loin for a medallion. That end for your butterflies. Because they were the core lines that we used to sell. And then you do all the manual work, like you bone out the shoulders. So you got a picnic shoulder, and then you got your legs or whatever. It just took that labour out, and by doing that, we actually improved the pork sales in the butcher shop in 3 months. We went from like a 3% mix of business to nearly 10% in 3 months, so which was pretty big when you're looking at the meat side of it.
For sure. Like, you think about how many, like, they're maybe putting a couple of pigs into a shop, but they're still buying 2 or 3 cartons of medallions as well.
That's right.
Or loins, sorry. Eyes, what do they call it?
MM loin.
Yeah.
Main muscle loin, or
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, so after that, that's when I went into, I got a job with Belrose Casings.
okay. While you're already on the coast.
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. So that was good. I enjoyed that, but that was a lot of travel, and
Yep.
and that's where it led me into here. So that was like 19 odd years ago now.
Yeah, wow.
Nearly 20 years, and this has been an interesting job too, because it's changed so much. You know, I've had to learn how to use a computer. I've had to, you know.
And you've got some fancy computers here too.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Technology overload, yeah. It's
What about
massive.
Doug's out here teaching Demi how to use the screen to book the room.
Yeah.
Well, that is cool.
No, the MLA headquarters, guys, is just second to none. It's absolutely magnificent. So
Yeah. It showcases
very
the
well.
meat industry perfectly.
Very, very well.
Yeah.
Perfect.
When I first started here, you know, I expected this. My visions were Meat and Livestock Australia. Okay, you're going to have a bunch of blokes, all ex-butchers, sitting around a table making decisions about what they're going to promote. What they're doing. Yep. And was I wrong? You know, you've got brand managers, so you've got a beef brand manager, you've got a lamb brand manager, you've got a nutritionist. You've got all these educated marketing people doing this work, and it's all run by data.
Yep.
So we don't make a decision unless we can back that up with data.
Yeah.
Educated decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing I don't know who it was. I was talking to someone up me from Everson's one day, and they, I don't know who it was.
I reckon I might know.
But why the bloody hell do you keep flogging cutlets?
Yeah.
You know, and all I could say is, mate, people see a lamb cutlet and they think lamb.
Yep.
That's all it is. We can put a 4/4 chop out there and they might go, what's that?
Yeah.
I had a butcher ring me one day and said, you know, you're using beef T-bones in a lamb ad? And I've gone, what? He goes, look at the poster. It looks like a T-bone. I said, it's a lamb loin. It's a little T-bone.
Yeah.
He goes, no, mate. He said, I know my meat, and that's a T-bone. And I said, mate, believe me, I cut the thing for the promote. I didn't, but I convinced him that I did.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why he believed me.
Yeah.
But, you know, it could be a T-bone.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why we use cutlets, because it's...
They're iconic, aren't they?
They are.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah. And well, like you say, everyone knows what they are.
Yeah.
And they all give them to their kids. So, yeah. But no, that was an interesting discussion. I do remember.
Oh, it came up, and it's funny that that's come up because we're 2 weeks off Australia Day,
Yeah.
and that's when it came up because as a wholesaler, it was just a nightmare because that's all they want is cutlets.
That's all they
Oh my
want.
God, can you sell anything else but cutlets?
And we couldn't move legs. We had legs up our arse, and fours everywhere. But anyway, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we have tried to get the producers to, you know, maybe get a few extra, you know, rib bones in their lambs, but they just don't bloody do it.
No, they won't do it. I don't know how. Maybe cloning one day.
Maybe, mate.
Yeah.
AI.
We can make that happen. I know it's probably before topic, but the last ad, the latest one, Australian Lamb's done.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah.
It is.
That's
a good
very,
one.
very good.
Yeah.
Very, very
No,
good.
that's
Yeah.
We watched it the other day. That's the best one.
It's going really well. I actually saw something come through earlier through our Teams meeting thing, and it's something 15 odd million views or whatever on a certain platform. But I just saw it in the corner of my eye because
I reckon it's an absolute beauty. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're really happy with it.
Yeah, and funny. It's a little bit of character, a little bit of, I don't know, just it is Australian, and I like where you just put through the old images of what's happened. Like that was really good. Bob Hawke was in there. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. And old Sammy Kekovic, you know, he's got a bit more of a role in it this time. You know, he's always been a great advocate for lamb. We've used him for ever since I've been with MLA.
Well, you see Sam Kekovic now, and you just think Australian lamb. Yeah, that's just
Exactly.
what you think.
Yeah.
Someone was saying 12 years. He's
it
done
12 years?
Yeah, he's done 12 campaigns apparently. Yeah. So a lot of people have grown up seeing him and Lamb.
Yeah, with lamb cutlets.
Yeah.
Yep. And he loves it.
Yeah.
He loves it. Like, you know, he lives and breathes lamb. You know, he's always out there spruiking.
He's a Lambassador, yeah.
That's him. He is the Lambassador.
I haven't even looked at this bloody sheet yet. There's a few things I want to talk to you about and ask you about, especially MLA-wise. Things that you've done and I've always looked at and gone, yeah, how cool is that? One of them is the butcher tours.
Yeah.
You had a massive part of that.
Yeah, look, that all started up in Queensland with the two guys that used to work for us up there, Gary McPherson and Glenn Burke. And those guys, they were the state manager and program coordinator up there. And they had a great idea one day. Well, Gary did. Gary was the brains behind it all. Glenn just took the credit, as good managers do.
Yeah, as you do, yep.
He threw 20 butchers on a bus and they went and looked at butcher shops.
How cool.
That's how it started.
Cool.
That's how it started. And I think it was up in Cairns, actually. So it became... That's where the ABG started. Originally, it was the Red Meat Networking Club, the RMNC. And that's what it was. It was about butchers networking together.
Yep.
And then that sort of flowed through to state by state by state. So, I sort of walked in after it had been running for a few years, I suppose.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And we've just sort of continued it for the time being. We haven't done it more recently because previously there was 12 of us and now there's just me.
No, yes,
Yeah,
I want to talk about that too.
It's a national role now,
Yeah.
so it's very hard to sort of do everything and keep everybody happy. And we'd love to do it again, but it's it's something that I think there is a possibility we might get around to doing a few around the place. But we like to be fair and do them in every state as well.
Yeah.
But to do that, you've also got to have feet on the ground and see the good butchers that are out there to start with. So just to get all that up and running, it's a big mission for one person. Yeah.
Well, I was talking to Rob Kay about it the other day, and he was still saying how that's one of his favourite parts of his career was getting around and meeting all the other butcher shops in New South Wales and seeing them and getting ideas off them and just sharing. That's what it was all about, networking. But he just said that he kept saying sharing. All we done was shared. And that, I just thought that was unreal. I thought, I've got to ask you about that.
The biggest take out of that for me was you get on the bus in the morning and everyone's introducing themselves and they're a bit standoffish. By the end of the day, they're best mates. And the banter, the talk, the shop talk in particular, and all they want to do is get back to the shop and try what they just saw. And you'd get a phone call the next day off Rob and say, "It's not really had a great day yesterday. I saw that at Billy Wilson's shop and I've given it a crack here," and that's what it was all about. It was all about getting butchers invigorated and more interested in what they're doing because we sit in there day after day with the blinkers on doing the same old, and you don't get a lot of chance to get out there and have a look, which is a big mistake. You've got to make time to do it. You've just got to make time to do it.
Totally agree.
And by running those tours, it gave these guys that opportunity.
Yeah. And it also bridges the gap too. Because we were saying recently on a podcast, the only time you used to talk to the other butcher is when you really needed some skins or some meal. Now, you're taking them out and getting them talking to each other and realising you're bridging that gap. The bloke down the road isn't your enemy. The takeaways are your enemy. The old days of supermarkets, not so much the supermarkets now, but the fast food joints. Like it used to be when we were growing up, it used to be Red Rooster, Macca's and KFC. Now there's everything. So who's growing and who's sort of who are we up against?
The other thing that the takeaway industry has done right is there's now healthy options. So you can get a feed on the way home and it's not necessarily bad for you. To a point, So we are up against it. But like Lawsy said on that last podcast we did with him, there's butchers through the internet now has made it a lot easier, but they're sharing ideas like I'm getting caught with flanks or whatever. What do you do with them, Doug? And you go, "Oh no, I'm just putting them in the mince." And you go, "Oh no, we're doing this with them, and it works in my shop. Try that; it might work in yours. It might not.
Well,
different demographic, it might not."
He was talking about Chucks in summer. He's buying fours of beef in summer. How good?
Why not?
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. So, no, but I just think that them tours definitely started teaching people that you're a teammate. You're not against each other, and I think that is massive. And if you are ever going have a crack at it again, we'd be more than keen to get involved.
I love you. That'd be good.
Because I think it's so important, and I would have given anything to go on one of them tours back in the day. Like just the people and the calibre, you had some bloody good people going to them tours.
We did find that the the same olds were coming along, but they were the ones that were progressing.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to try and get some of those other guys that really struggled to get out of their shops just to come along, just to, like, you know, it was a day.
Yeah.
Pay somebody to come in, a bit harder these days, but, you know, get somebody in there just to cover for you and come out, and you'll get back to your shop, and honestly, you'll just learn so much more. You know, you will be excited, exactly.
People like Rob Kay and Adam Stratton, they would not have slept that night after that.
No.
They would have been just thinking about what they're going to do next in their shop.
Yep.
So, yeah, no, that unreal.
But even new ideas, like you go to other shops and you'd see, like I say, a cut that you struggle selling, you think, oh, I saw what old mate was doing with it, I'm going to try that in my shop. You'd be busting to get back to your shop to see if it worked, you know. Like,
Yeah. No, for
Because
sure.
different things sell differently in different areas also, you know.
exactly.
Not everything, there's not just one size fits all, is there? Like,
Butchers Guild podcast.
Yes, mate.
Obviously, like I said, we both listen to it. We love it. One of yours was the reason why I wanted to do this. How long have you been going now?
This is coming into the 5th year now.
Wow.
So we do one a year. One a year. One a month.
One a month,
One a
yep.
month. We started out doing a couple a month, and it just got too much with everything else that I got to do. So, you know, it just sort of peeled back.
Yep.
And just getting the right guys. Like I'm enjoying it because I'm still learning. You never stop learning. You know,
Yep.
one thing you never stop in this industry.
Even more now, like with because you don't get to be as hands-on as probably what you'd want to be.
Yeah.
And because you're a busy fella. But you're with the evolving so much, like the butcher shops are evolving a hell of a lot. You'd definitely be learning a hell of a lot more now.
Yeah.
I do. What I've learned in the last 12 months doing this podcast, because we've been wholesaling, I've been 7 years, you've been, 10 years. So I've been out of shops as well for 10 years. How much, just talking to people, and especially the snags and stuff like that, the flavours and stuff like that.
The snags
it's
are out
just
of
gone
control,
crazy.
mate. They're out of control.
Yeah. But off them guys you're interviewing, you'd be learning so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All like Mark Edwards. You know,
What a
the
legend.
the sausage king, mate.
Yeah, he is. He's ring-a-ding-ding, the sausage king.
Sausage king.
Yeah.
He is just so inspirational.
Yeah.
And the sausages that he turns out, or he was turning out, he's now actually doing sausage mixes, like the meals.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
doing
don't be
all that.
afraid to try one of them.
Yeah. But, you know, he's very inspirational, that guy. And you know, he's had quite a few shops over the years, and he just keeps on going. He's plugging away.
Yeah. Do you reckon he's ever sold one for less than what he's bought it for? No. Nah. He's always built them up. He's always
That
done a
tells you
great
something.
job and built them up.
That tells you something.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's built on his sausages. 'Cause
Oh,
that's,
for
you know,
sure.
everyone just goes there. Like, you know, I remember he was at Westlea one time, and I walked in there, and he had a tub on the floor with all this different sausage meal in there, sausage mince in there, and I sort of said, what's all that? Are you going to make rissoles? He goes, no, that's a sausage I make. And he goes, I said, what? And he goes, it's called Everything But the Kitchen Sink.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So every flavour that he's made, he might have crocodile, he might have been
Yep.
venison or whatever, and it'd all go into a tub, and then he'd just fill it out, and it was the worst looking sausage you've ever seen live. Looked like
Yep.
roadkill, but
Every bite tasted different.
Amazing.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. I used to call them, when I was at Craig Cook's, we used to call them sinkers. So I had 23 flavours, and you'd just get everything out. Because you always get a kilo in between.
In between, yeah.
Like, roughly.
Yeah.
But on the bottom of the plate, the filler plate, and the
nozzle.
filler nozzle,
Yep.
you'd have about a kilo.
Yep.
So you throw that into a tub. All of a sudden, I've got 10 kilos of snag mince.
Yep.
I can only eat so many rissoles on the fry pan.
Yeah.
So you mix them all together and call them sinkers. But he obviously done the same. His would have been heaps better than mine though.
But
Crocodile.
his had the colour. His wasn't mixed up. It was just all as it came out of the tub into the filler and filled out. So it'd be brown, white, yellow. You know, it was quite a technicolor sausage. But
Did you taste some?
No, I didn't.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, I would have. Bloody oath. Anyway, everyone knows I love snakes. So, yeah, no, he is a sausage king for sure.
Definitely, mate. But
Yeah.
that is, you know, and a lot of butchers always say if you've got a good mince in the sausage trade, you've got a good business, you know. And I still stand by that.
Yep.
You know, people love snags.
I think a lot of, and more so these days, the shop is judged on its snags. You know, like, you know, is it a good butcher down there? What do you snags like? You know, like, he does flavoured, you know, the flavoured snags, like I said, they're just going to a whole new level.
And you're getting your money for them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I went to a shop yesterday, and I paid $24.99 a kilo for the snags, flavoured snags, pork, jalapeno and cheese, and I took them up to Shum and he said they were the best snags he's ever had. The rump steak they had on special at $19.99. The snags are worth more than the steak, so they've got to be. They're an attraction now.
They are,
and it's good.
Yeah, even the plain beef ones are bringing in $20.
Yeah,
in a lot of cases, you know, and nothing wrong with that.
Well, out of them tours, how many of them blokes that were going, or people that were going, had really good flavoured snag trade?
The majority of them.
Yep, they would have all learned them off each other.
Yeah.
Yep. Sharing ideas, guys. Keep just the butcher shop up the road is not the enemy. He's your mate.
And he's giving you an idea, and you go up against the supermarkets. They can't produce those flavoured snags like a butcher shop can. They just cannot do it. They can't mass produce them.
Yep.
So that's your point of difference. You're creating a niche where you're no longer competing with them.
No,
they don't sell their snags for $23 a kilo. They sell them for a lot less, but they're not the same. I know what I'd rather be eating. You know. Like,
oh, for sure.
Well, you're going to be able to enjoy it.
You're not. You're not.
right.
You're not competing them. There's a mass-produced sausage. It's like hams.
Yeah.
A proper butcher cook ham compared to a mass-produced one. They're two different products.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you're not competing with the supermarkets anymore.
No, for sure. But yeah, so Butchers Guild podcast, everyone get around that, have a listen. It is good and very, very informative, and you will
Very
learn
educational.
something.
Like ours is very different. Ours is just more, we just talk and have a chat. But Doug's is a lot more educational.
Yeah.
You know, like,
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always walk away from here, listen to your guys, with something different in your head. Like you'll learn something along the way, whether you're speaking to Lawsy or Strato or whoever. There's little things that you pick up along the way.
For sure. Oh, 100%. Like Nathan Gunter. That was really, really cool. I really, really like that one
He's
as well.
a top bloke.
Yeah, he's a really good
I've watched
fella.
him for a while, you know.
Yeah.
I've just sort of haven't had anything to do with him, but I've watched him on his socials and he's just given it a crack, you know.
In a hard area.
Very hard.
Yep.
And a lot of competition.
Yes.
A lot of competition in Dubbo.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's really a passionate butcher. He just loves the industry, and just listening to him talk about it made me want to sort of go, you know what, I want to get behind a shop again. You know? Well,
anyway.
Missus will have something different to say about that. But, you know, no, he's a lovely fella.
Yeah. Now, the Butchers Guild obviously has a YouTube page as well. YouTube channel.
Yep.
Anyone that wants to have a look and learn what cuts you can get out of a hind quarter of beef, a forequarter of lamb, get on there and be educated. Educate yourself and learn what comes off each carcass and how many like subprimals you can get, because you're the one doing the butchering. Like, you can learn a lot off these channels, and especially the apprentices. You're on watching TikTok. You're on watching Facebook, you're on watching YouTube, you're probably watching blokes doing burnouts that you're never going to be able to do yourself. Yeah. Jump on, watch Doug do some videos.
Yeah, the information's there.
Yeah.
You can educate yourself quite easily.
Absolutely.
And that's information that wasn't there 20 years ago, let me tell you. You know?
And not only that, and hopefully this doesn't come out wrong, but that's what we're paying for as well. As an industry, like the whole industry puts into the MLA, right? He's doing mad videos. And you've paid for it. Watch it. Learn from it. Because that's why you're doing it. You're not there. You're doing it because you're told to. You're doing it to teach people.
That's it. Well, that's what the ABG is all about. It's engagement, education, and inspiration. That's what we hang our pillars on. You know, the educational side of it. The young fellas that are coming through, and women that are coming through the trade, they may not be working for the best butcher in town. You know,
100%.
And a lot of the older guys like me, you know, have never been outside of their shops because they've never come on a tour or whatever, but they only know so much, like everybody. You know, we like I keep saying, we keep learning every day. So by having these tools there, these resources there for people to access, they can learn a little bit more.
Okay. I've worked in some big shops. You know the shops I've worked in, you know the places I've worked at, right? Until I watched the channel, you done a tri-tip. I didn't know how to get a tri-tip out. I didn't know what part of the rump the tri-tip was from, right? And that's not because I'm a bad butcher. It's just because I'd never been in a shop that's done it. But now I'm a wholesaler. I have to sell a tri-tip. What do? I jump on and watch what you've done.
That's what I'm saying. The information's there. Like if you're an apprentice in a shop and you hear the term tri-tip off a wholesaler or whatever, and you think, what the hell's a tri-tip? And the bloke you're working for breaks beef a certain way, and that's the way they do it every single week, and they won't change.
Yep.
The information's there, which it wasn't 20 years ago. You can go on there and have a look. Exactly. Watch Doug break one down. That's the tri-tip. That's where it comes from, and this is what you can do with it.
Exactly.
Done. So next time you hear a tri-tip, you go, I know what that is, and I know what to do with it. That's the whole idea.
Exactly. So the Chinese market is about to, a lot of Chinese product
Yeah.
is going to be on our
Yeah, the
on
back
our
end of the
doorstep.
year, potentially,
Right.
there's going to be products we haven't seen
Yep.
on the domestic market.
So how many butchers aren't going to know what a conical muscle is?
That's right.
Right? Jump on there.
Yep.
You've probably done a conical
No,
muscle.
we haven't actually.
Well, there you
no.
go. There's your next one.
Yeah, well, you give me more work to do, mate.
But yeah, these sort of cuts are about to come onto the market. Tri-tip, there's going to be more. You know, jump on there, learn it, and work out how to get it for your shop.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of opportunities going to be coming up, I think. But like as you said, Brando, later on in the year.
Yes.
And it also depends on the other markets too, because, you know, MLA's got several business units scattered throughout the world. We're in about 7 countries, I think. And Asia is a big part of our industry. We send a lot of meat over there. Well, we don't personally, the exporters do.
Yeah.
But it's a big market for this industry. And, you know, just because it's not going to go to China, they may not use it all, depending on their quota, what they've
They're
already
not going to
used.
be able to afford
It's
that
gonna-
extra 55%.
No,
Oh, no,
no,
once we hit
definitely not.
quota,
Yeah.
it's
It's going to be it. So, you know, it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
They'll be the exporters will be looking to get the best bang for buck, and if it happens to be overseas, it will be overseas. But there will be stuff.
There'll be,
There'll be opportunity.
What it will
buyers.
be, no one knows until.
Yeah.
Because they're at the moment, they're looking for outside markets. We don't know what markets they're going to find. And what they don't find a market for is probably going to end up a little bit on the domestic market.
But you're going to have opportunity buyers. Use them, learn how to use them, learn where they come from, tell your customers, and all of a sudden you might make a bit of coin out of it.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, and if you can't find anything about that muscle, Google it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, the information's out there.
Yeah,
Things
it
like
is.
things like shin shake might get thrown up. Can I mince that? Well,
Yeah.
there's places you can, places you can't.
Yeah. There's a
Depending
percentage.
what you're doing with it, but the information's there to find out. Right, this cut, I can buy this opportunity, buy this cut. What can I do with it?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Yeah. No, but get on there, guys. That YouTube channel and
And the website too, the
And the
ABG website, that's got a lot of the stuff on it as well. The what I'd really like to do is do a new carcass breakdown, because the one we did before, when I had darker hair, which was about it was about 15 years ago. I had people telling me what to say and do, and it was so frustrating being a butcher.
Yes.
You know what you're doing, and they're telling you this is what we want you to say, and hills and valleys and stuff like that. And it was like it really got to me, and you can see it in my face how they all of a sudden they start on a new cut, and I'm like,
yeah. Well, you've got the facilities to do it.
yeah,
so.
well, we want to do it. I'd love to do it, and it's also explaining where cuts like the tri-tip comes
Yep.
from. We know the hanging steak doesn't come in a carcass that gets taken out with the offal, but you can do things to you can show where it comes from. A lot of people don't know, that
oh, 100%.
that little piece of meat that we see
Yeah.
on the inside of the sirloin, right near the
And
end of the tenderloin.
we've talked about a lot about butchers, and I know there's a lot of young salesmen that are listening
Yes.
to this, young traders, and more so now. Like back in the day, Doug, you'd have to become a salesman, you'd have to do your time in a butcher shop or on a floor or whatever. But now there's a lot of young blokes that are transitioning pretty quickly into sales or trading meat, and they're trading box meat, but not at something like a tri-tip. They may not necessarily know where that is. Don't be jump on and find out where it's from. So when your customers ask you about it and what you can do with it, you can sell it to them.
Yep.
Even if you're not a butcher, if you're just a salesman, jump on. All this information is there. And it's not just for butchers. Jump on there, find out where these cuts come from off the body, and work out what your butcher's doing with it, and you can sell it more confidently.
That's
to your
right.
product,
And find out who takes it and who uses
exactly,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, because then you'll find yourself a customer that you didn't know, and all of a sudden you're selling 50 tonne of meat that you didn't even know was what the part was.
But I think a good young salesman, if you want to become the best, it's not just for butchers. This site, you can learn a lot from it. And that again, when I was coming up, that information wasn't there. We had an Osmeat catalogue, that was it, and you learnt your cuts. We didn't know what they did with them, or you had to talk to butchers. Now it's all the information's all there. You just got to educate yourself.
Yeah,
For sure.
And it's amazing. I get often get phone calls off salesmen, traders around the place, and they say, that really enjoyed, watching these videos. Even the farmers, they're doing home kills. They're using a lot of our material as well. They're paying for it, so use it.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, and why not use it? Like, it's right there, and you're only going to spend that time, like I said, on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook anyway. Jump on YouTube and watch something you're actually going to learn from.
But if I was selling, I'll use tri-tips again as an example. If I was say you're just a trader, you're a little bit green and you think, these tri-tips, I'm selling a heap of them. What part of the body do they come off? I've got no idea. That'd just do my head in. I'd have to find out exactly what they are and what I'm selling. Don't just sell off the label on the box. You'll only go to a certain point doing that, and you won't be able to confidently sell to. And your butchers can see straight through you. If you don't know what you're selling, your butcher will see straight through you.
For sure.
Educate yourself.
Yep, 100%.
And the information's out there now.
And when they're looking straight through you, they're bullying you into taking it. And all of a sudden you're a price taker instead of a price giver.
They're running rings around you.
Yeah. So, 100%.
Yeah.
Red Meat Ambassadors Program.
Yes, mate.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. You've got some really, really cool people doing
Massive fan.
Talk us through that. How did you, because we haven't really touched on it, but you have a massive job and you are the only one in the retail butchering side of it, and you deal with the whole of Australia. That's massive. So surround yourself with really, really good people is so important.
Very.
How did you come up with the Red Meat Ambassadors Program?
Well, actually, it wasn't originally my idea. It came from my manager, Catherine Golding. She ran an ambassador program over in the States when she was over there. She did a short time, and I used to go over there frequently and help her with these things. And it was great. She had all these chefs there working for her, doing a job that she couldn't do, but getting the word out about Australian red meat. So she sort of said, well, why don't you start up an ABG Ambassador Club? We already have a Red Meat Ambassador Club, but why not do the ABG one so you're getting butchers in there? So I thought, okay, that sounds pretty cool. So I didn't have to go far to find some decent talent. We've got some great talent around the place, and we started it. So it's still in its infancy. Like it was very much a test and learn sort of year, the first year doing it. So we've done a few workshops with all the ambassadors. They've done a night each.
Can you just tell us about that, because they are cool. I know I've spoken to Sarah Wadlin, I've spoken to Lawsy. They absolutely love it. They love doing it. They love seeing the people there. But we need to get more butchers to them.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about them.
Okay, so the events that we're holding, I'll go back a step. Each ambassador, as they come on board, they get like an induction. So they learn about our business, how we're funded, how all the wheels turn, and then what's expected of them. So we ask them to come up with a couple of value-added lines, like something original or something that's old, but put your own spin on it. So they do. So what we do with these, with the events that we do, these butchers come along and they talk to the crowd. Like Sarah would come along, talk to the butchers that are there, and do a value add that she does. We give a lot of support there. We give them information about what's happening in the industry and all that sort of stuff. But they mainly come to see the butchers do something. So Sarah would get up there and she'd make a couple of products that she'd made, and then she'd talk about what they're doing with them, whether they sell them in their shop, how they cook them and all that, giving everybody that information. There's also the part where, Sarah was very lucky to get a spot with I think it was the latest ambassador tour. So we bring a lot of chefs from overseas into Australia and give them that Aussie experience. So they get to see the paddock to plate sort of scenario when it comes to raising lamb and eating it as well. And she spent a few days on the road with all these chefs from, I think there was America, there was England, there was Southeast Asia. And she had an absolute ball, and it's all paid for by us. But, that's just part of it. And then you've got all the events around the place. Like, I'm one person, I can't be everywhere. So if we've got an event in South Australia there, someone requests a butcher and we can see value in it for us, we just don't say yes for everything. We can't, because we can't physically do everything. So we've got a guy over there, Luke Layson, who's the WBC captain.
Not a bad bloke to have on board.
He's pretty handy.
That's all right.
But we'd ask him, mate, can you attend this? Can you do a lamb breakdown or whatever? There's always something there that they want done. So that's what the ambassador's role is to assist us. It's not for nothing. We understand that those ambassadors do have a full-time job and they've got a commitment there to the employer too. But we've found that most of the employers are quite happy to let them go because it's also good PR for them.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You look at Maddie Taekwon down there in Melbourne,
good.
Apprentice of the Year.
That was a really good podcast too. Jump on that. Any young person, not just a young bloke, young person that wants to see where apprenticeship can take you, listen to that one as well.
But Maddie's boss, Paul Klooster,
Not a bad fella.
mate, he just loves to be able to let his guys do what they want to do. You know, he encourages them to be better than to get better.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. Same as with Luke's boss, Dave. He does the same thing.
Yep.
You know, Sarah with Nathan. You know, again, and same with Mano and Lawsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they love to let them do that stuff because it also comes back on the business because you've got
course it
something
does.
to hang your head off. Of
Of course it does. Do you think people don't travel, 40 kilometres to go and see Lawsy at his shop? You know, like 100% they will.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, Paul's got like down there at Ashburton Meats in Vic. He's got world's best apprentice on his window.
Everywhere. He's got it everywhere.
I would too. If it was my shop, I would too. I'd be promoting the daylights out.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You've got it. It's like winning the Sausage King. You've got to let people know what's different about your
Yes,
business.
and the customers see that and think, well, if he's got the apprentice of the year, he's obviously doing a good job.
That's a
I'm going
good
to buy
shop.
my meat there.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Or if I've got Brett Laws working in my shop, obviously that's a good shop. You know, I'm going to, or Sarah Wadlin, I'm going to buy my meat there. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of Sausage King, I know it's more of an AMIC thing
Yep.
than what it is MLA, but you've been there a lot. Oh, and the apprenticeship comps as well.
Yeah.
You've got a lot to do with them.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, with the Sausage King, we're MLA as a sponsor, so we sponsor the red meat side. So we do, the beef or the traditional Australian, the lamb, and the best butcher's beef burger or whatever it is. So we've been sponsoring them for longer than I've been with the company, and it's for a good reason. We see a lot of value in it, and butchers do see a lot of value in it as well. You know, like a lot of guys are out there talking about AMIC negatively. They're there for a reason. They support the industry. They do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. They just don't take your money and then expect you to join pay more money to go in the Sausage King. There's just so much that they do around policy and HR and everything.
People don't see it.
No,
They don't see it, and it's a lot of stuff that we do. Like butchers only see the butchery side of it.
Yep.
But there is 250, 300 people out there
Yep.
in the office helping me
Yeah.
get to this stage, or helping them meet in their businesses.
Yes.
So there's just so much behind that. But the Sausage King, I think, is a very valuable thing. I encourage butchers to support it because it can only help your business as well.
For sure.
And then there's that networking opportunity on
Yeah.
top of that as well.
Absolutely. And wholesalers as well getting behind and doing a bit of sponsoring as well. Like that's massive for them. I know Breakout do a lot. That's massive for them. That's helped them out a hell of a lot. When we're at Woodwoods, we sponsored a couple of Sausage Kings as well. It just helps. It helps everybody, and it brings. The old days, the wholesaler used to be the enemy, and he's trying to rip me off, and the butcher was trying to rip the wholesaler off, and everyone. That's not there anymore. They're business partners, and I think things like Sausage King, things like the shop tours, all this networking is bringing everyone closer, and I think we need to keep doing it so much more.
Yeah.
So
The Apprentice
Yes.
competition, that is, I'm a judge them with that side of it, and I love it.
yeah,
I love going into that room. It's generally, ones I've done have been out in Granville TAFE there when we do the state ones.
Yep.
And just seeing those apprentices in there, and they're as nervous as all get out. They're standing there. They just can't wait to get in and start cutting meat. You can just see it in their blood, and so many of them just do such a great job. They try hard. Look, not everybody's going to be a Lawsy or a Stratton or a Wadlin, but I really love watching that side of the business, and I get to sort of be able to assess some of these young fellas and women, and say, we can sort of work, we can mentor some of these people, that are coming through, and you give them support and tell them, look, if you've got any issues, give us a call, because that's what I like to do. That's why I just like to help people. Assist them where any way we can. We can't find them a job. We can't do this, but we can certainly point them in the right direction. You know, which is I think very important. But they're a very important part for the trade.
Yeah.
Like encouraging your apprentices to enter these competitions, I think is a very good thing for their own well-being, for their own personality. You know, giving them more confidence. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And you're proof that that's not a sales pitch as well. You've even got your young bloke, he's a butcher. So you're proof that you have got the industry at heart and you want to keep people in the industry. How do we get more young people coming?
Mate, that's the
hard
$1,000,000 question.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've got to show to be professional. We've got to show that, you know, there's a career path there. That it's no longer as physical as what it used to be.
I agree.
But it's more about, you know, it's a real hard one. But there's a lot of that involved. It's just really making it seem a lot easier than what it is, and being able to let these young people have some sort of ownership in the business too. Not so much, you know, making that monetary thing, but giving them some responsibility.
Responsibilities, yeah. They take pride in that.
Because I found that with my young fella. He was coming home and he was, you know, you sort of poo-poo this, poo-poo that. He didn't enjoy it. He had a really bad day, and you know, every day was something different. And then one week he was good, next week he was bad, and then, you know, the new owner came into the business, changed a few things around. He got he was given more responsibility, and now he loves it.
Yeah.
You know, he's very proud to be a butcher, whereas before he was sort of always talking about going to do something else. But you know, he's in a good headspace at the moment. He's really enjoying what he's doing. He appreciates what he's learned over the years with both owners of the business that he's in.
Yeah. They've both been pretty handy.
Oh, very handy. You know?
Yeah.
But I think that is the key thing, because I've seen that a few times in a lot of, not just my boy, but a lot of the other butchers, young butchers that are out there. They're a little bit of a lost cause for a little while. They're in a, you know, I don't know where they are. Their head's not in the right spot, but they get a little bit of responsibility, and then all of a sudden they grow 10 feet.
Yeah.
And they become a real integral part of the business.
Well, I think if you're in that sort of industry, like you're going through school and you're not having a great time of it, but one of your main attributes is enjoying helping people. I think if you're enjoying it, or if you feel like you've got some responsibility and you are helping them, helping the owner and helping the business grow, I think that makes you feel really good, and that's what makes you proud. But I think one thing we are doing a really good job of with social media and all the value adding and stuff like that, getting these young people taking photos and doing videos, is showing that you can be very proud of what you've done, and I think we're doing that very well now.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to keep doing as well, showing that the butchering industry isn't, I'm not walking around dirty, I'm not knee deep in sausage mince and all that sort of stuff. I'm actually putting a window in that looks like this, and I'm very proud of it. And and not only that, you can make a quid out of it now.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Are you finding that shops are doing a lot more 4-day rosters?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to help as well? I do, but yeah.
It's got to, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
It makes it so much more attractive.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, yeah, you're not doing 12-hour plus days, 6 days.
Yeah, 12/6s, that's exactly right, yeah.
Yeah. No.
Well, I've done my apprenticeship in 2.5 years because I've done about 80 hours a week. 'Cause that's how I snuck around it. Because I think the apprentice is still done in hours. It's not done in years. So I said, can I get, like, I was trying to earn as much money as I could. I said, when can I finish my time? And they said, oh, no, you've got to do 4 years. I said, no, I've done 4 years in 2. And they said, what? I said, yeah, I've done about 80 hours a week. Anyway, they'd checked my pay slips and everything and went back to how much I'd actually done. And they said, yeah, no worries, you finished in 2.5 years. No problem. But would I go to the industry now if I knew I had to do 6 12-hour days? No, I wouldn't. If I knew I could do 44 hours in 4 days, and
it's more attractive, isn't it?
yeah, hell of a lot more.
100%.
Yeah. It's such a social life these days. A lot of people have. You know, it's. I think it's probably not a bad thing if the employer can do it. Like, you know, you've got a 7-day week business. You know, you've got to sort of spread your staff off.
Yeah, that's right. But I think the harder part is if the apprentice can afford to live on the no overtime. I think that's more of the problem.
Yep.
But I think if you're a butcher shop, you actually should be getting 2 people with all the rebates and everything that come with having an apprentice. If you can afford to have 2 of them doing 38 hours each, it's better than having one doing 80.
Yeah.
And more cost effective.
Yeah, very much.
So
And you're gonna have a bloke 2 years down the track, whereas a bloke doing 80 hours, he'll do 2 years and go, I can't.
I'm burnt out. Yeah.
no, exactly. And not only that, you will find that they push each other.
Oh, it becomes a game.
Yeah,
Doesn't it?
and not only that, you might have 2, one that turns into a front butcher and one that turns into a back one.
Yeah.
And because you can find out, okay, well, this one's better on the counter, this one's better out.
They'll
passing all
naturally
the beef.
they'll naturally evolve to what they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like by personality or whatever.
Yeah. Is that fair in saying that, or?
So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I reckon anyway.
I agree.
Now, you do 5 questions on your podcast. We're a bit more wanky than you are. We've gone for 6.
And we change things at a drop of a hat, though.
Probably better, don't you?
No, we're just...
One better.
We're hopeless. No, because I done the 5 and then Brandon goes, no, this one's a really good one. I said, oh, no, fuck it, we'll do 6.
Doug can do 6. He's a podcaster.
Yeah, it was more...
7 next month.
It was... No, you're not allowed to drop who's on next.
No.
Are you ready?
No.
Oh, get ready.
Okay.
All right. Favourite part of the meat game?
Everything.
Oh, true.
Good
Mate.
answer.
I like it.
Good answer.
There's not one part of the industry I don't like. You know, I wouldn't be here if I didn't like it.
True.
I love breaking beef, lambs. I love the physical side of it. I love the interaction with the customers. I love eating the food. I love being creative. I like, making value added stuff. I like to, you look at what other guys are doing. There's not one part of it I don't like. The admin side probably would be it.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair. Okay.
Oh, I could agree with that too.
I'd ask Brandon, how do I spell this? How do I spell that? How do I spell this? Yeah. So, the admin's very, very difficult. Yeah. Best lesson the meat game has taught you?
Mate, I I'd have to put that down to people management.
Yep.
I coming from a small retail shop, you only had to worry about 1 or 2 other butchers, and they became good mates, not employees. But when I went into the supermarket side of it, and you had 15 butchers and you had 20 servers and packers and that.
So that's 30 staff with about 70 personalities.
Personalities, yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you were dealing with so many different personal issues,
Yep.
and as well as trying to run a meat business.
Yep.
And, it was a very hard thing to be in the beginning because I was not an angry person, believe it or not. I just didn't put up with bullshit,
Yep.
And so I was very direct. But then I sort of got pulled aside and said, look, you can't speak to them like that. You've got to be
I had the
a
same thing, yeah.
angry.
Not in a butcher shop, in a wholesale, but I had the same thing, yeah.
But yeah, but I learned how to manage that, and I learned how to manage people. And
You almost learn a little bit of psychology, don't you?
You do.
And treating people differently depending on their personality.
Yeah.
I found instead of just just do it. Yeah.
yeah,
And but no, you're right. And which personality they had it on that hour?
Yeah.
Because it can change, and
but just
there's
try
so
to-
many different factors that can change how they're feeling.
Just different. Like some people you speak to softly and they get the message. Other
Yeah.
people you've got to raise the voice because that's
Yeah.
the only way they understand.
Yeah.
So-
But the bloke that likes to be spoken to softly, if you yell at him, he's like, like. And then
Well-
there's others that need to be yelled at because if you don't, they don't listen.
Yeah.
So it's just different horses for courses, isn't it?
And there was always one thing I learnt, that if it's something that you couldn't handle, you give it to IC and let him do it.
That's people management.
Old Billy Burge used to do it for me.
Favorite cut of meat and how you're cooking it?
Mate, again, there's not. I don't have a favourite cut of the animal. I just like all of it.
All of it.
Yeah, I'll eat anything basically. If it came down to a particular cut, it'd probably be a toss up between 2, and one of them is the hanger,
Yep.
and the other one would be the rib and sirloin.
Yep.
No problem. That's mine too.
No.
Yeah, that's a ripper. That is unreal.
They are my 2 favourite ones. I remember the first time I had a hanger was overseas, and I think we were in Vegas, and I've come back, And I had to take the wife out for dinner because I'd been away for a couple of weeks.
So you should, yeah.
Yes. So we went up to I can't remember what it was called, but it was a place up in one of Singleton's restaurants up there on the coast. And looked at the menu and I was going, holy crap, they've got bloody hanger steak on it. I'm going to give this one. I want to see what this one's like, you know.
Yeah.
And came out and he said, "Do you know where it's from?" I said, "Yes, I do." Yeah. No worries. So, okay, he brought it out. Beautiful. Absolutely.
And it's a unique flavour, isn't it?
It is very unique.
It's a unique, yeah.
It reminds me a bit of the flat iron.
Yep.
Because it's got that irony flavour, very rich irony flavour, but it is the texture, the tenderness. It's got a little bit of chew, but geez, it's good. It's a great piece of meat.
Now, this is why people should watch your YouTube channel. Tell them what a flat iron is.
Flat iron.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite cuts. Another one.
Yeah.
But the flat iron's from the oyster blade, so it's a little bit of work to get it out. I think you lose around about 50% of yield on it, but you can make that up in the money when you're selling it. Yeah. But you take off the scapular cartilage, you take off the fat and the skin off the top, and just split it down the centre there, taking that bit of connective tissue out. Those steaks are just second to none. Like, that's number 2 on the tenderness for me.
Yeah.
Tenderness scale out of all the cuts. Your tenderloin's always going to be number 1, but I tell you what, you get a decent flat iron, or actually
even an oyster blade as a whole.
What about the flavour difference?
I know. Yeah. It's got it.
Like I said, ugliest cut in the whole thing, but very underrated.
Yeah.
But look at the oyster though. What can't you do with it?
Exactly.
Everything.
You can roast it.
Yeah. That's the best way to have it.
That's the only way. Yeah.
But braising it in a brown onion sauce or something like that, as a steak and onions and stuff like that, even as a grill.
Yeah.
No problem.
But even things like going back to your hanging tenders, is that something we might see on the market back end of the year? Maybe.
Hopefully.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm like you. Hopefully, learn how to use it because it's an awesome.
Well, you'll definitely see them in their restaurants.
Yeah.
They'll be back on menus.
Yep.
For sure. Which is get out and eat some. No problem.
Well, that's how I first came across them, was in the wholesale. They'd be hanging in the bodies. We'd knock a couple off and make a stew out of it. That was smoker, on a Sunday, Yeah. Beautiful.
Who has influenced the way you look at meat? Your biggest influence?
That's a bloody good question. Look, I've worked with some great butchers. I've learned from some great butchers. There's not one person there's probably only one guy that's really been a big influence on me, and that was a butcher called Danny Gahar. Danny is, if he was still alive, he'd be 120.
Yeah.
But he came up to me in my butcher shop at Colorado Plateau just after I bought it, and he introduced himself. And he used to have a butcher shop, a very successful butcher shop down in DY. And he gave me a lot of confidence by just talking to me.
Yep.
That he'd give me a lot of advice. He never told me what to do, but he said I'd be trying this, I'd try that. At the end of the day, this guy was my calm. I'd be so frustrated with something, and he'd come and talk to me. Like he'd just pop in to buy some meat or whatever. Yeah. He always wanted to make sausages. Yeah. So, here you go, Danny. I'm crap at it. You do it. But he was probably my biggest influence throughout the career. But there's been so many different people from listening to you guys on your podcast. There's something that I learn there every day. Well, not every day, but whenever I listen to it. Yep. There's so many butchers out that I've worked with, like I said before, that have just been a big influence on me and given me a lot of information. Yep. Rafa over there in Western Australia, mate, he used to work for us. He still does a bit of work. One of the best butchers I've ever come across.
Yeah.
One of the best. He's so knowledgeable, so precise in what he talks about, and he can cut meat. Yep.
Yeah, you've done a podcast with him as well.
Yeah,
I've listened to that one. That's very, very, very good.
No, I got a lot of time for him. But all butchers, mate. I could rattle off a dozen of them off the top of my head, but it wouldn't be fair to the other.
Yep.
Yeah, a few hundred.
Especially with you, you've met so many and done so much with so many of them. So, yeah.
And like Rob Owen said, everyone gives you that little bit of gold, that little, and you take that and you run with it,
No, for sure. I have only got 5 questions.
Oh, you can't count.
No,
either.
Hey, I can't, mate. I can't count. Can't spell. Hopeless.
It's not getting edited out either, mate.
What's next for Doug Piper?
Good question. Well, I'm getting towards the end of my career.
No.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. I'm probably probably another couple of years, I'm going to look at hanging up the tools.
Yep.
Maybe not quite that long. But for me, at the moment, we're looking at sort of expanding the ABG ambassadors. So we're looking out there for some different personalities. We're looking at more of the Middle Eastern and Asian butchers to bring a couple of those guys on board because there's a big market out there.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a huge market. So we've got,
And getting bigger.
it's massive.
It is.
It is. It
Yep.
is. And when you look at the demographics that are out there, you can see why we have to do this because it's something that we need to do. We've got to engage these guys.
I could show you my sales book, and it'll just back up what you've just said. You
Exactly.
see what I'm selling and the volumes that I'm selling and where it's going. You go, yep, 100%.
Yep.
We're on the right track, with what you just said.
Well, we done I think episode 6. We had our general manager on.
Yep.
Shane Webber.
Yep.
And we asked him the hard question. And we know how hard it was for them to do it.
Yep.
You've got an old Aussie family, not old, but you've got an Aussie family who pride themselves on being Aussie. They are as Aussie as you can get.
Yep.
And we had to make the massive decision as a company
Yep.
to go hello.
Yep. And copped a lot of flack over.
And
it. A lot of
Oh, and they had threats. They had personal attacks on them.
Yep.
From some of them from their best friends.
Yep.
But there's a reason why we done it.
Yeah.
And it's because they buy a lot of meat.
They buy a lot of meat and
Yep.
they shop through butcher shops. We serve butcher shops.
Yep.
We sell meat and we sell a lot more. It's,
No,
like I
so-
said, I could show you my sales book and you go, yep.
No, we understand exactly
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah, well, we want to engage more with them because a lot of these guys there's some great guys out there that we've already got on our membership database.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more out there that don't know who we are, what we can do for them,
Yeah.
or what we can provide for them. We're a free service. Like you get your point of sale material, you get, you can join up. You'll get your newsletter every month. You'll get. It's got a little bit of information about what's happening around the place. We do an asset pack that we'll send out if you want to see that, which gives you a little bit of information about what's happening in the trade, like as in regards to the analytics side of it. So where the shoppers are shopping, how the butcher trade is actually tracking at the time.
And we do it with the podcast. Analytics is so important. It is like you can learn so much about your business from analytics and from finding out where the analytics for other people's shops are and where the whole industry's what's triggering here. You might be going, I'm not doing any of that. Try it, and all of a sudden they're going bang.
But also the questions I get asked as a salesman from whether it's an Asian shop or it's a Middle Eastern shop, they've done things their way and they cut meat up very differently to us, but they're starting to buy box meat as well. And I get a lot of questions about ciphers, about how's the age of the animal taken. I don't understand what this means. I said there's MLA, there's the Osmeat, there's all these things out there where you can learn, and you've got to start learning because you need to know what you're buying. What does V mean on a box?
Yeah.
Is that
Well, we are on the MLA page because we're wholesalers. We need to know what the Eastern Yearling Indicator is doing, cattle indicator and all that.
Yep.
We look at land pricing. We look on the MLA website every single day.
Yep.
And that's because we need to. That's
Exactly.
If we're not, we're behind the wholesaler that is.
Yep.
So use it.
But you get asked a lot too. They'll say, "What's the difference between a yearling and a PR?"
Yep.
Well, that's all, and like I said, a lot of it comes from those ethnic shops or the Asian shops. The Aussies do get around it, but I think it closes that gap with the.
But
Yeah.
like real quick, you've got C,
Yep.
cow,
Yep.
Yep.
manufacturing.
Yep.
A,
Yep.
which is more of a budget cut.
Yep.
Y, which is a small yearling cattle.
Yep.
YG, slightly bigger, and then you've got PR.
Yep.
Then you've got
Steer.
steer. I love steer, mate. Big fan. YGGF,
Yep.
yearling grain fed. What else we got? That's about it.
I think so.
Oh, there's heaps on, but the point being, like 10 years ago, those shops, whether it's an Asian shop or Middle Eastern shop, they pretty much just took in hanging meat. Now you're starting to see them use more carton meat, and they're looking at the label and they're wanting to know what's that mean, what's this mean, what's that mean. So it's starting to raise its head a little bit.
Oh, veal.
Also with those style of shops, veal.
V for veal.
See, that's where Osmeat comes in handy.
Yep.
You can join up with Osmeat. You can become a member there. It's free,
Yep.
and all that information's there for them.
That's what I said. Yeah,
Get the Osmeat handbook.
yeah. That's what I've said. I feel
that is unbelievable.
just
It's
yeah.
the Bible.
Yes,
It is the Bible,
It
exactly.
is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I said to old mate. I said that all that information is in there. You just read through it, and it'll answer a lot of your questions.
Do you reckon Stu will be able to get a picture of the cover of the Osmeat handbook?
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. So.
Stu, sort that out, can you? Right, I reckon. Well, Doug, I reckon that's about us.
thanks for having me, boys. It's been great to be able to tell my story, and thanks for listening.
Thanks for having us, Doug.
No, I wanted to touch on that too. Finally, not finally, but now this is our opportunity to give back to you. You get to have people on monthly and tell their story. We just wanted to give you the opportunity to tell yours.
Yeah, thanks, mate. No, I appreciate it. Yeah. You know, it's quite humbling to be able to tell a story.
Yep.
I haven't got a very interesting life, but
It's a story.
Doug, they all say that, and then I get people. I'll drop your cell. They go, they'll ring us up and go, that was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
And we always say the star of our podcast is
Yeah.
not us. It's the stars of the people we talk to.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And hopefully you will come on again.
Oh, mate,
Most
love to.
definitely.
Love to.
Most definitely.
All right, boys.
Righto, guys, we're going to finish up there. I'd just like to conclude by thanking our sponsors, first of which is Icon Pack. They've been with us since day one. We've got 2Js. We've got PBSA POS Systems. Shed some light on your business with PBA POS Systems.
Charcoal, Wattle and Flame.
Wattle and Flame
Yeah.
charcoal. Get around that premium article, and we've gone right through what that's made out of and why it is such a premium article.
And while we got Doug, we've done a massive rap about charcoal. Value adding.
Yeah.
You do heaps with value adding meat. How about people value adding their shops now? You're finding charcoals in there. You're finding temperatures. You're finding rubs.
Rubs have gone
seasonings.
crazy.
The
Yeah.
whole thing, like it's so much more in their range now,
Yep.
and it complements what they're selling in their window.
For sure.
You know, so you look at that barbecue side of the business.
Yep.
That's massive.
Yeah.
It's also a customer attractant, I think. I think they go and they go, what's that bag of charcoal?
Yeah.
What are those rubs they got everywhere? I'm
Rubs.
going to go and have a look. And they try and I love that. And they're back. You know, they're not just buying meat off you. And it's drawing people into the shop, I think.
But also, what you've got say this beautiful board. Say this is your counter.
Yep.
What's behind the customer? Usually just a blank wall.
Yeah.
Put value add it.
Yeah.
Value add that wall.
Yeah.
And make money out of it.
Like you said the other day, value add your shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cross merchandising. That's
Exactly,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
you're doing. You know, you've got to have stuff that's going to complement your meat. So you, like you said, your rubs, your sauces, your charcoals to cook. You know, the meat on. You know.
And like we said a couple of podcasts ago, these barbecuers, they're creating trends with what they're doing. And the weekend warriors are going, I'm going to try that. They're going to come to your shop and they're going to say, I want a brisket, I want rubs, I want charcoal. If you've got that there, they're not going anywhere else.
That's right. Here, this is a question. This is probably number 6 or 7, whatever. You've got all the analytics. You've got the paperwork in front of you. The last 10 years, what about the growth of barbecue cuts? Briskets,
huge.
short ribs.
You guys see it in your sales.
Yep.
You know, you can't get enough briskets.
Yep.
You know, butchers are looking at during the summer months, briskets become very scarce. We're seeing guys using chucks
Yes.
instead.
Oh,
Why not?
And in
that's-
summer,
no, it's
perfect.
sensational.
They're
It
perfect.
is sensational. Yep.
I know, and we're seeing that all these barbecue cuts are expanding. Like I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's been a few social pages that I've sort of looked at over the years, and I'm terrible with social because I don't often look at them. I hate the bloody things, but anyway, it's part of my job. But
What's the worst part of it?
They're going into the shops and they're buying a nice big thick cut of chuck steak, and they're looking for a particular piece, like that piece off the ribeye end.
Yep.
Yep.
Right, so they're looking for something with a bit of that rib cover and that nice bit of longissimus dorsal muscle in the guts of it, and a bit of marbling, and they're grilling them.
Yep.
And that's what they're buying these days. They've sort of they're expanding their repertoire of steaks. Like you'll see on these social pages they're going in there. What did you cook up this week? Well, I've got a tomahawk there. I've got a rump cap. I've got half a dozen other cuts there. A bit of wagyu and that. And there's probably $200 or $300 worth of steak there. They're going to cook up apparently this weekend.
Yep.
But it's just become a smorgasbord, really, like barbecuing is.
If you were to go to a shop to buy a whole rump, what would you do to it? I'd rip the rump cap straight off.
Yeah, whereas you wouldn't.
That's a whole piece,
Yep.
and then you're cutting a roast beef out.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yep.
Perfect.
How good? And then you've got how many meals out of one rump, and good eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you look at how versatile that cut is.
Oh.
What can't you
problem.
do with it?
Bang for your buck. I've always said it. You can't go past the rump.
Yeah, and so much flavour.
Do you want to do a roast? Do you want to do steaks? Do you want to just
Yeah.
rip the cap off and bang for your buck rump?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Righto, guys, back to sponsors. We'd like to thank Tramontina for sending us the product that they send us. And Speaking of rubs in butcher shops, elevate your cooking with Taste Merchant rubs.
Yep. More to come with that.
Oh, there's a lot more to come.
Anyway,
So,
you'll hear about that on the Thursday ones. Righto.
Righto, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. We'll touch base again on Thursday for our normal Thursday yarn. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye.
On the concrete, blood on the steel. I'm talking about a life that's raw and real. From the paddock to the plate, it's more than a trade. Sweat, grit, and muscle, how legends are made. It ain't just work, it's a way of life. Cut deep like a bone and knife. Welcome to the Meat Game Podcast, where the bulls run wild and the stories last. Country boys, butchers, and cowboys too, running hard on the truth like we always do. Raise your glass, crank it loud, make it blast. This is the Meat Game Podcast.